Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this broadcast. I am disgusted by the words, actions, and leadership of the left, especially when I look at California. I look at the houses, the entire city of Los Angeles burning. And the Democrats are worried about themselves. They say, don't politicize this. But how can you not politicize this when this could all have been prevented if it wasn't for dumb, stupid, woke, liberal policies? We're going to get right into that. Also, today was the funeral of Carter. And Melania Trump, her facial expressions tell you everything you need to know. And the media is now attacking her for not wanting to shake hands with Obama, for not wanting to hug Kamala Harris, for not wanting to go and greet and hug and be joyful with all the DC swamp snakes that have been trying to destroy her husband's and her life. The people that have been trying to put her husband in prison for 1,000 years. The same people that raided her home, went through her underwear drawers, and then indicted her husband, and then brainwashed liberal kids to literally shoot him in the face and call him Nazi and Hitler of today. We're going to get into all of that. But please, do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up button. If you're a Trump supporter, freedom-loving patriot, smash that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed with bell notification buttons on, and leave me a comment. Where are you watching me from, and how is your day going? First, we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about Karen Bass. This is a tweet that she tweeted on 2/19/2021 when there was a huge storm in Texas, and Ted Cruz was in, I believe, in Mexico. This is what she wrote. Ted Cruz fleeing Texas in the middle of a deadly crisis is part of a larger pattern of the GOP abandoning folks in crisis. We need to build a movement to kick them all out. Do you know where Karen Bass has been the last 2 days up until last night? She was in, I believe, Uganda, Africa, for the inauguration of their new president. And here's what libs of TikTok, they found her tweet, and they posted it, and they said, hey, at Karen Bass LA, how was your taxpayer funded trip to Africa as your city burned to the ground and your constituents were fleeing for their lives? So the fire started about 3 days ago. The fire started about 3 days ago, and she sat there in Africa and watched. And she was there on a taxpayer-funded trip for the inauguration of African president, while her people are burning alive. The fires are still raging. This is the worst fire in Los Angeles history. It is devastating. Let's move on. We're going to jump onto my Twitter page. We're going to cover some of the stuff that happened today at the funeral. I want to play you guys this clip. This is Donald Trump and Barack Obama. So Harris looked back, she sees that Obama is talking to Trump. Look at her facial. Look how pissed she gets. Oh, man. Oh, man. While they are back there talking. Now, before I go down to that video, I want to show you this one before I go down. Look at Melania's face. The media is going wild over this. Look, she looks pissed. She looks uncomfortable. She understands the people she is sitting next to are snakes. They're monsters. They are soulless. Now, Trump has very thick skin, right? Him and Melania are different, but men, get you a wife like Melania. Like my wife, she's very similar. Hey, if someone mistreats me, she will not talk to you. She won't shake your hand. Get you a husband or wife like her, who's loyal. And let's not forget, when after the election, when Trump won, Jill Biden actually invited Melania to come to the White House, and Melania's response was no. You and your husband have been trying to destroy my family and put my husband in prison, and you called him a Nazi and Hitler. You called him a dictator. Now you're inviting me? After all the stuff that even Jill said, remember after the debate, she went on stage, look at my husband. He knew the answers and the facts while Trump lied. Melania saw all of that. Look at her face. She look, there are those, look how she's looking. Look at the look she gives to Kamala Harris's husband, Dougie Doug. Look at that, just piercing through his soul. She's like, you snake. And then right there, she's probably remembering all the horrible stuff they said about Trump, their children, Barron. Ladies and gentlemen, get you a husband or wife like that is with you to the end. And the media, they're going wild. They're going crazy. I mean, what? Go crazy about what? Jason, yeah, want to give her a hug and be like, it's all right. We're with you. At least the American people are with you and with your husband and with your family. I want to show you this clip I found of a guy from Los Angeles. This is weird. Let's watch the video together.
I'll be the first to say it. These LA fires are not natural fires. They're being intentionally done just like Hawaii. I spent tons and tons of hours there today. I filmed all of it. I'm going to show you right now. These fires are created intentionally, and it is not a coincidence that it's at the same time as some random windstorm in LA.
I spent hours riding around the fires looking at everything. Here's some random clips throughout the night. You can see all the houses on fire, buildings on fire, trees on fire. A lot of chaos, a lot of damage. Now this is the clip to really watch. You can see that whole house in the back is on fire, and this car parked in front of it has been completely melted into the ground, burnt to a crisp. But something interesting is the tree that hangs directly above it doesn't seem to be affected at all. Still has all those green leaves on it, nothing burnt, completely intact.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. The house in the background is burning down. The car melted, but the tree that's maybe 4 or 5 feet above the car that melted, the leaves are green. The leaves are on. The branches did not light up. Not only that, but the bushes, right? The brushes between the house and the car are also fine. How is this possible? This isn't possible. And he actually is going to go on and mention the bushes, the brushes, and between the house and the car and the trees. How is it that the car melts, but the tree doesn't? Nothing. The leaves aren't even touched.
Even the grass fully surrounding this car has no singe marks. It's green grass, untouched. Even that expensive, nice landscaping in the background seems to be untouched. That tree is immediately above this car. How can those leaves not have been affected by flames big enough and strong enough to burn that car down? If the flames are big enough to burn the car, they're clearly big enough to touch that tree. Yet those leaves seem perfectly intact. It seems more like it was a targeted strike of sorts, just like in Hawaii, not a natural disaster. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but you decide for yourself.
This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. This is it's wild. But let me remind you of something. Who remembers that about a year and a half that California is going to now start moving into what they call it, like become a digital state, AI state. And Los Angeles is going to be the first city in the nation to start moving into this computer, internet, super smart city where everything is super revolutionized and it's all on the internet and it's all digital. Kind of like with Hawaii, especially that area, like a year before that, they said, we want to buy it out and we want to make it like the resort hub of the world. But then the people said, we're not for sale. And then boom, something crazy happened. You see house burned, house burned, house burned. Oprah's house is fine. House burned, house burned, house burned. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Before I continue, I got to give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video and the channel overall. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like big banks. I don't like the Fed. I don't trust them with my money. But yet, I understand we're still in the modern world and we got to use the dollar. But your savings, your IRAs, 401ks, I don't want them using my money to get rich. This is why converting it into physical gold and silver is the safest way to store your finances, your wealth, your retirement. Verity Metals is owned by my good friend Matthew Geiger, and he will give you free silver when you call him and mention Vlad and that you heard about him from the show. He does IRAs, 401ks. You can get just a roll of silver if you want, like I got here, or just one American Silver Eagle. Whatever you want, he's got it. Also, don't forget to ask him about his self-storage IRA options. You heard that right. He is one of the only gold, silver, and precious metals dealers in the nation who can legally help you store your precious metals to where you have access to it anytime you want. Call 480-717-9081 or go to veritymetals.com today. Mention Vlad, get free silver. Let's continue. Now, I want to show you this. People are very, very angry. We're going to watch a few clips.
Victims. They're doing this victims research so that number could change. Brian was forced to evacuate his home in Pasadena. And Brian, really, your area is coming into clarity now for just how much you've been through.
Yeah, Harris, I have to tell you, after seeing that press conference, I am flat out heartbroken and outraged. We are sick and tired in LA County of having liberal political leadership play Russian roulette with all of our lives. Look at that. Look at these images. This was preventable, Harris. I'm not saying it could have been stopped, but I looked on the news 3 days ago. I have a teenage daughter. You know, I'm a single parent. I've got a 9-month-old as well, with a nanny holed up in a hotel. 3 days ago, we see on the news, there are winds expected of 80 to 100 miles an hour, Harris. I looked at my teenage daughter and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's hurricane force winds. Mm-hmm. What is our city? What is our county doing to try to help people understand what happens if these winds destroy our town and community? There was nobody on the TV out here in LA except Gavin Newsom doing his dog and pony show talking about what we're supposed to do when this happens. Nobody had done anything to remove soil and vegetation for the last year. Nobody tested the water pipes. This was not brain surgery. It was predicted. These winds were predicted. And don't believe Karen Bass when she says that an airplane with water could have saved lives in the Palisades. It's pipes. It's proper water. It's not diverting water for fish in California instead of saving human lives. You want to save human lives? Then do your job and have a plan in place. Harris, there was not an operational plan in place anywhere in LA County to help with this. And by the way, let's not just pick on Karen Bass. What about these LA County supervisors? They are powerful because I'm in LA County. Those supervisors, Harris, they show up at these press conferences after urban carnage, after kids have been murdered in LA County, and they try to tell you, oh, we're going to do this and that. What have they done to prevent it? We're sick and tired of this.
listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you something. When the war, so right now, not only did, I believe it was in 2019, Gavin Newsom, he got rid of a dam in Northern California that had the water coming through Montana, Canada, Washington, Oregon, and then going into northern California. And then there was a dam built to take it down in Los Angeles, give water to the entire state. They got rid of that dam, and so the water just goes through Canada, Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and goes out into the ocean to save a tiny fish. But that fish is found all over the world. So even if it would go extinct in Northern California, it doesn't matter. The fish is not extinct. But just to save that fish, they got rid of the dam. Newsom did. Then, listen to this. Karen Bass, 2 months ago, actually just under 2 months ago, cut the budget of the Los Angeles County Fire Department by $17.4 million and diverted that money to help the homeless. Now, if it was up to her, she wanted to take 26 million, but she ran into some roadblocks, and so 17.4 was all she could do. Not only that, the fire department in Los Angeles are saying, we don't have the equipment that we need. We don't have all the equipment. Well, who remembers when the war in Ukraine started? And the firefighters, because now they've been doing DEI hire for the last 5 years in Los Angeles and all over California. And they're all about a bunch of woke sissies. They donated almost half of all of their equipment to Ukraine. And I quote, when they had the press conference in 2022, they said, now every single fire station in Ukraine is ready for anything that comes their way. So they said, it's like me seeing hungry kids halfway around the world, taking my kids' last bread and giving it to other kids. It makes no sense. If you got extra, okay, share. But no normal parent that loves his family, his house, and his kids is going to take what's his kids, their last, and give it to someone else, knowing that there's a possibility, danger, or tragedy might strike. And it could have been preventable. It could have been stopped. It's I don't know. It's crazy. We're gonna see. Like, whoa. Fight broke out at Carter's funeral, lost the feed. Do you have is this true? Let me see if it's true. Hold on. Let while we're live, let's see. Okay, hold on. Let's see. No, not that I could see. No. Yeah, no fights that I can. If I do fight, I'll let you guys know, but not that I could see. But ladies and gentlemen, stop voting blue, please. And I'm not saying Republicans are perfect. They are. Most of them are worse than Democrats. But right now we got Trump and we got these new people coming into the Republican Party who did not want to run for office. They're doing it because they're tired of the career politicians. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please, again, let me remind you to smash that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed with bell notification buttons on. I got to go pick up the kids from school. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one.